and welcome. Thank you for viewing me. Today we're going to continue working with Tarot's Minor Arcana, specifically the number 6. We'll review what each of the suits are represented by as far as elements and aspects, and then we'll learn what the specific meanings of each 6 are. In the second part of this video, we will continue weaving stories to learn more deeply what each of the numbers mean and how other cards affect the essences and the meanings. And this will really help you as you're reading for querents and reading for yourself, because depending on the cards that land around these 6s, it can change the meanings. So without further ado, let's talk tarot. If you have viewed me before, you'll remember in some past videos we have used this tarot chart that I created with some flashcards to help us remember what the elements and aspects and seasons and directions of each of the suits are, and specifically a few words to help us remember what each of the numbered cards mean. And if this is the first time that you've viewed me, thank you and welcome. I'd really love it if you would hit the like button and please subscribe. And if you've already subscribed, wow, thank you so much. The 6 of Wands specifically means triumph. And when we look at this card, we see an individual sitting high on a horse. He has his wand held high. It has a laurel wreath of victory attached to it. He is on a white horse. Now in tarot, white represents spirit or purity of spirit and innocence and truth. Now this individual is definitely triumphant. He has achieved a victory. He is receiving accolades from those around him. There's a celebration for this achievement. And because the 6s have to do with relating and cooperating, there's a reminder here that when we achieve a victory, sometimes it's important to recognize those around us who helped us get to this place. And there's another aspect to that. If you look closely behind the horse, you see a man holding a staff. He has a red sleeve, and he's looking at the victor. But that is not a look of joy. Could it be envy or jealousy? Again, reminding us that maybe not everyone is cheering us on as we arrive at our victory. So the 6 of Wands, really, when this shows up in a reading, you know that if there's a struggle that the querent has been going through, you know it's coming to an end, and they will achieve their goal. They will be victorious in what it is they're struggling to achieve. And we know that the cups are represented by the water element, and that this has to do specifically with love and friendship. In tarot, specifically, the 6 of Cups represents the past. So here we see 2 youths, and there's a young boy. He's offering a cup of flowers to a little girl. And look at the connection here. There's a real deep kindred spirit type of connection. Also, like a real close intimacy, a real deep intimacy of friendship. There's a castle in the background. There's also, if you can see on the pathway back there, you see a man. He's walking calmly, walking away, but this represents that these youths have been watched over. They have been taken care of. They have a home. They have adults around them. So this is a card about happy childhood memories. And when this shows up in a spread, oftentimes it can mean that there will be an old friend reaching out to you, or that you're traveling home, or you're traveling to see others who you haven't seen for a while. Good friendships, lots of trust, lots of connection, deep connection, even spiritual connection. Because remember the white? Look at those white flowers representing innocence and purity and spirit. So the 6 of Cups is a very happy card. We look at the 6 of Swords. We remember that swords correspond to the element of air, and their aspect is thought, mental activity. And it's really interesting how many cards in the sword suit we see with water. And it makes sense because thought and emotion really go hand in hand. Now this card specifically, the Six of Swords, represents aid, assistance. We see a man guiding this boat. There's a woman and a child in the boat. There's nothing else. They only have each other. And this man is guiding the boat away from choppy water into calm water. And the card can represent moving away from struggle into tranquility, moving from a chaotic mind to a more harmonious mind. The card, when it shows up in a spread, it can represent that someone is taking a journey over the water or taking a trip to water. And it can also represent journeying inward, a journey through a troubled mind into more calm thinking. We remember that pentacles are corresponded to the element of earth, and the pentacles represent physicality. Specifically, the Six of Pentacles represents financial aid. So we see a merchant here. He's well dressed. He is handing money to possibly beggars, definitely handing out help to those who need help. Now he's got a set of scales in the other hand. This represents that this individual who is giving aid also has a set of scales, and he balances his giving and his receiving. He always makes sure that he has enough for himself. Scales can represent setting boundaries. They can represent karma. And this man, by giving aid to others, and he has scales in his hand, it also represents planting seeds. Karma, cause and effect. This man is carefully balanced his giving because he knows that in giving there is always receiving. So he doesn't overgive, and he's not stingy. He's balanced. This is a beautiful card. And you'll recall that in another video, I talked about how the sixes are yes cards. To me, sixes mean yes. So when I see a six show up in a spread and my querent has questions about a specific thing, a six means yes. And when I see two sixes in a spread, it is loud and clear. One six is confirming and clarifying the other six. So sixes, for me, are real yes cards. And we're going to get into part 2 of this video where we'll be weaving some stories, specifically using our sixes and introducing other cards around the sixes.